They are not your children, Mr. Okafor. The words struck Emeka like a thunderclap in the doctor's office. His ears rang, his chest tightened, and for a moment he forgot how to breathe. Not his children. The boy who carried his surname, the girl who called him daddy every morning before school, 15 years of laughter, tears, and sacrifices, swept away in a single sentence. And then, like Lagos traffic at rush hour, the truth forced its way into his mind with brutal clarity. The streets of Lagos never really slept. Even at midnight, the city pulsed with restless energy, the faint hum of generators, the scattered laughter of young men hanging by beer parlors, the endless honking from danfos that seemed allergic to silence. For Emeka Okafor, Lagos was not just home, it was the battlefield where he fought, daily, for his family's comfort. At 45, Emeka was everything the average Lagos man aspired to be. He had a flourishing logistics company headquartered in Ikeja, a duplex in Lekki, 2 cars parked neatly in the driveway, and a family he had worked hard to protect from the hunger and uncertainty that haunted many homes in the city. His wife, Amara, was the jewel of his youth, elegant, soft-spoken, and still as stunning as when they first met at Unilag. Together they had 2 children, Kelechi, a tall, football-loving 15-year-old, and Ada, his bright-eyed younger sister, who had just turned 13. From the outside, the Okafors looked like the perfect Lagos family. But behind the tinted glass and polished smiles, cracks were forming. Years back, when they were still struggling, Emeka's younger brother, Chike, had lived with them. Chike was 5 years younger, charming, quick-witted, and carried the kind of playful energy that made everyone around him feel alive. Where Emeka was serious and disciplined, Chike was adventurous, a dreamer who never seemed weighed down by life's burdens. During those early years, Chike had been close to the family, helping with errands, playing football with Kelechi in the compound, keeping Amara company whenever Emeka traveled for business. Then came the opportunity. Chike got a visa and moved abroad, chasing greener pastures in Canada. They celebrated him with jollof rice, suya, and dancing the night he left, unaware of the shadows he had already planted in their home. It was an ordinary Thursday afternoon when Emeka's life shattered. The call came from his doctor's office. He had gone in for a medical checkup weeks earlier, and the doctor had casually recommended a full family DNA screening due to a new health insurance policy that required genetic records. Emeka didn't think much of it. He signed the forms, let the nurses collect samples from him, Amara, and the kids, and returned to his busy schedule. But now, the doctor's voice was heavy. "Mr. Okafor," he said slowly, "I need you to come in. We need to discuss the results." Sitting in the cold, air-conditioned office later that day, Emeka felt the walls closing in. "Sir," the doctor began, choosing his words carefully, "the results indicate that you are not the biological father of your 2 children." For a moment, Emeka laughed. A dry, disbelieving laugh. "Doctor, are you joking? I have raised those children from birth. That boy looks like me. I'm afraid the results are conclusive. They share no genetic match with you. Both children belong to another man." Emeka's hands shook as he gripped the edge of the desk. His word tilted. The faces of Kelechi and Ada flashed before him, their laughter, their cries, the nights he stayed awake worrying about school fees, the countless sacrifices. If they weren't his, then whose? The answer struck him with the force of a Moyu boss. Chike. That night, Emeka sat across from Amara at their dining table. The children were upstairs, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing beneath their roof. "I went to see the doctor today," Emeka began, his voice low but trembling. "He told me something I never expected." Amara's fork froze halfway to her mouth. Her eyes darted to his face, searching for clues. "He said Kelechi and Ada are not my children." The silence that followed was suffocating. The generator's hum outside seemed to roar louder. "Amara," he said, his tone sharper now, "tell me the truth. Who is their father?" Tears welled in her eyes. She opened her mouth, closed it again, then whispered, "Emeka, please. Don't you dare beg me." His fist slammed against the table, rattling the cutlery. "Tell me." Her voice broke. "It was Chike. It happened when you were always away, traveling, working. I was lonely, Emeka. He was here, and you were not. I never planned for it, but it happened. Twice." Emeka's heart stopped. He stared at her, unable to process the betrayal. His younger brother. The one he had housed, fed, and celebrated. "You mean to tell me that the children I have poured my life into for 15 years are not mine? That all this time, you and my brother," his words choked in his throat. Amara wept openly now, sliding to the floor. "I love you, Emeka. I swear I never stopped loving you. It was a mistake, a terrible mistake. Please, don't destroy this family." But to Emeka, the family was already destroyed. Days turned into weeks, and the Okafor household became a battlefield of silence. Emeka avoided the children, unsure how to act around them. Every time Kelechi called him Dad, it felt like knives in his chest. Eda's laughter, once his source of joy, now haunted him with bitterness. He drove aimlessly through Lagos traffic, through Third Mainland Bridge, through Marina and Victoria Island, trying to clear his head but finding no peace. Lagos, with its endless noise, only magnified the chaos inside him. His friends noticed his withdrawn nature. At the club in Ikeja where he sometimes met colleagues, he sat quietly while others laughed. He drowned himself in work, staying longer at the office to avoid going home. At night, he wrestled with himself. Should he throw them all out? Should he divorce Amara? Should he disown the children? But then he remembered how Kelechi once cried when he missed his football match, or how Eda would sneak into his bed when she had nightmares. They weren't his by blood, but they were his by every other measure of fatherhood. One Sunday morning, Emeka found himself at church, sitting alone at the back pew. The pastor spoke about forgiveness, about how love was tested not in moments of peace but in storms. Emeka bowed his head, tears streaming down his face. He realized something painful but true: he couldn't undo the past. He couldn't change the fact that Chike had betrayed him, that Amara had strayed, that biology had denied him. But he could decide what kind of man he wanted to be moving forward. That evening, he gathered the family in the living room. His heart pounded as he looked at their faces, Amara's swollen eyes, Kelechi's curious frown, Eda's innocent smile. "I know the truth," he said finally. "I know you are not my biological children." The children froze, glancing at their mother. "But hear me," Emeka continued, his voice breaking. "For 15 years, I have been your father. I was there for your first steps, your first words, your birthdays, your tears. I have loved you as my own, and that has not changed. DNA cannot erase those years. You are my children, whether the world accepts it or not." Kelechi's eyes filled with tears. "Daddy, you'll always be my dad." Eda rushed into his arms, sobbing. "I don't want another daddy. I want you." Emeka held them both tightly, his tears soaking their hair. For the first time in weeks, he felt a flicker of peace. As for Amara, she knelt before him, trembling. "Emeka, I don't deserve your forgiveness. But please, let me spend the rest of my life making this right." Emeka stared at her, pain still etched deep in his heart. Forgiveness would not come easily, perhaps not fully. But for the sake of the children, for the sake of the man he wanted to be, he decided to try. Lagos moved on, as it always did. The city's chaos swallowed secrets, scandals, and sins, burying them beneath its unending noise. Emeka Okafor continued to build his empire, but he also began to rebuild something even more fragile: his family. He knew the wound might never fully heal, but he chose not to let betrayal define him. In the end, Lagos had taught him one bitter but profound truth: blood may define origins, but love defines legacy. And for Emeka, his legacy was clear.